A gym at 3 a.m. is a liminal space. It's built for noise, grunting, clanking weights, terrible pop music. But when it's empty, it feels wrong. It feels like a cathedral made of rubber and steel. I worked the overnight desk at Iron Clad Fitness. My job was simple: wipe down the machines, restack the weights, and don't fall asleep. I thought the creepiest thing I'd have to deal with was the occasional drunk guy trying to run on a treadmill in jeans. I was wrong. I found out that mirrors don't just reflect what's in front of them. Sometimes they show you what's standing behind you. It was a Tuesday. The gym was dead. The last member, a night owl nurse, had swiped out at 2:15 a.m. I locked the front doors. Members could still get in with key fobs, but no one ever came in after 2:30. I started my cleaning rounds in the free weights section, the meathead zone. It was a mess. Dumbbells scattered everywhere, heavy plates left on the bars. I was re-racking the 45-pound plates. Clang, slide, clang. The sound echoed through the empty building. I moved to the squat racks. There were 3 of them, lined up against the back wall. The wall was one massive, seamless mirror. I sprayed my bottle of blue industrial cleaner on the glass. I started wiping. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I was scrubbing a smudge about 6 feet up the glass. It looked like a forehead print. Some guy had probably leaned his sweaty head against the mirror while psyching himself up. As I wiped, I watched my reflection. I looked tired, dark circles, uniform polo shirt slightly untucked. Then I saw movement in the glass, behind me. I spun around. Nothing, just the rows of empty benches and the silent treadmills in the distance. "Hello?" I called out. My voice bounced off the hard surfaces. I checked the front desk monitor. The door sensors hadn't tripped. I was alone. Just the lights, I told myself. Fluorescent flicker. I turned back to the mirror. I sprayed another section. Shh, shh. I wiped. And then I stopped. In the mirror, the reflection of the gym was different. In the real world, the squat rack behind me was empty. The bar was stripped. But in the mirror, the bar was loaded. 4 plates on each side, 405 pounds. The bar was bending under the weight. I froze. I slowly turned my head to look at the real rack. Empty. Just a bare metal bar. I looked back at the mirror. Loaded. My breath caught in my throat. "Okay, Mike," I thought. "You're hallucinating. Carbon monoxide leak? Sleep deprivation?" I took a step closer to the glass. In the reflection, I saw something else. Chalk dust. It was floating in the air in the mirror, swirling around the rack like smoke. But the air in the room was clear. And then I heard it. It came from inside the mirror. I watched, paralyzed, as a figure stepped into the frame of the reflection. He didn't walk into the room behind me. He walked out of the darkness in the glass. He was huge, a bodybuilder, but he looked wrong. His skin was a dark, bruised purple. His veins were black, popping out like ropes. He was wearing a torn lifting belt. He walked up to the reflected squat rack. He got under the bar. He started to squat. Down, up, down, up. I couldn't look away. The sound of the phantom weights clanking was audible now, a muffled underwater sound coming from the glass. He did 5 reps, then he racked the weight. Clang! He stood up. He turned around. He looked right at me. His eyes were red, not bloodshot, glowing LED red. He pointed at the bench press station, the one directly in front of me. "Your turn," the voice whispered. It didn't come from him. It came from the speakers in the ceiling. It cut through the pop music. "Your turn, Mike." I stumbled back. "No," I whispered. "I'm just the cleaner." The man in the mirror smiled. His teeth were jagged, broken shards of chrome. He walked toward the surface of the glass. He pressed his hand against it.
On my side, a foggy handprint appeared on the clean mirror. "You need a spotter," the PA system said. "Everyone needs a spotter." Suddenly, I felt a heavy weight on my shoulders. In the real world, I wasn't holding anything, but my knees buckled. It felt like I had 300 pounds of invisible iron across my back. I fell to my knees. I looked up at the mirror. In the reflection, I was on my knees, but in the reflection, I wasn't alone. The purple man was standing directly behind me. He was spotting me, but he wasn't holding a bar. He was holding a massive 45-pound plate. He was holding it high above my head with both hands. He was grinning. "One more rep," the PA system boomed. In the mirror, he slammed the plate down. I ducked in real life, covering my head. The mirror in front of me exploded outward. I scrambled backward, crawling crab walk style away from the broken glass. The lights in the gym cut out, pitch black. Then the emergency red lights kicked on. The gym was bathed in a blood-red glow. I heard footsteps, heavy, wet, slapping footsteps. Slap, slap, slap. They were coming from the broken mirror. I ran past the treadmills. I ran past the ellipticals. I didn't look back. I heard weights crashing to the floor behind me. Racks were being tipped over. It sounded like a bull was tearing through the gym. Crash, bang, failure, the voice screamed from the darkness. Train to failure. I hit the front door. I smashed into the crash bar. The door flew open. I fell out onto the sidewalk into the cool night air. I scrambled to my car. I locked the doors. I sped out of the parking lot. I called the police from a gas station 2 miles away. They investigated. They found the gym destroyed, mirrors shattered, weights thrown through drywall, treadmills overturned. They checked the security footage. Here is the part the detective told me off the record. The footage showed me cleaning the mirror. It showed me stop and stare at my reflection for 3 minutes straight. Then it showed me fall to my knees as if crushed by an invisible weight. But behind me, in the room, there was no one. However, inside the mirror reflection on the tape, the camera caught something, just for a split second before the glass shattered. Behind my reflection, there was a shadow, a dark, hulking shape. And on the floor, amidst the broken glass, they found something that wasn't there before. An old leather weightlifting belt. It was rotted, moldy. On the back of the belt, scratched into the leather, was a name, Atlas. I looked it up. Back in the 90s, the gym was owned by a bodybuilder named Atlas. He died in that building. He was alone at night, trying to hit a personal record on the bench press. He dropped the bar on his throat. He didn't have a spotter. I don't go to gyms anymore. I run outside, in the daylight, and I covered all the mirrors in my house with sheets. Because sometimes, when I brush my teeth, I see a purple bruise forming on my neck, and I hear a voice whispering from the drain. "One more rep."